Hello everybody, it's Maikito. I'm gonna quickly go over yesterday's picks. 3-1 had a good day, close to the sweep. Our only miss was Witzel, lower in 37.5 passes. I said last game that the only way that he goes over is if Dortmund take the lead early, so they don't have to hold the position as much, and that's exactly what happened. He started getting less passes as soon as Atletico Madrid took the lead, but that was our only miss. Oblak over 3.5 saves hit. Brandt over 1.5 shots hit, and Kunde over 1.5 tackles hit. So went 3-1. Pretty good day. I'm gonna do something a little different on today's picks. I'm gonna give more picks than what I usually would for like a 2-game slate. I'm gonna give like a brief explanation, and then you guys can decide which ones you like and which ones you want to pair up. That way, I can give you guys a little more. I'm gonna try that, see how that goes, and if that doesn't work out, or if you guys don't like it, I can go back to just giving less picks with more explanation. Let me know down in the comments what you guys prefer. So I'm going to try something a little different. All these picks are on the Champions League. And for my first game, at home for Bayern, it is Manuel Neuer, lower than 1.5 goals allowed. Bayern have a pretty good defense, but they're really, really good at home. In 15 games in the league, they've only conceded 11, and they've only conceded 4 goals in 5 Champions League games, and 3 of those 4 came in one game against Manchester United. While Arsenal, in the 4 away Champions League games that they've had this season, they've gone under this mark, as in they haven't scored 2 or more. In 3 out of the 4, the only one that they went over in was against Sevilla, who don't have that good of a defense. And Arsenal managed to get 2 at home, and now that they're playing in Germany, I don't think that they can score 2 against Bayern. They are projected to score 1, but I don't think they can get the second. And I think you're getting good value for this, considering the fact that just Arsenal are already choking in general overall in the season. They had the league and they lost that, or they're likely to lose that. And now going up against Bayern away from home, where Bayern is really, really good at defense, they're going to have Leimer, Kimmich, Goretzka, Dier, and all them. I think it's going to be hard for Arsenal to find 2 in Germany. My next pick is also for Bayern. It is Harry Kane, hired in 3 shots. Before he was in Bayern, he played for Tottenham, and he always did well when he played against Arsenal because they were the arch rivals. This is over the last 2 seasons, you got to keep in mind, but he played them 4 times over the last 2 years and went over this mark in all 4 games. He gets 3.8 shots in the league away and 2.4 in the Champions League away, but he goes up to 5.3 and 3.5 respectively, and he's just better overall at home. And I feel like at 3.0 is a good line for safety reasons, just in case he just ends at 3. I just like it at 3. And for his support in the midfield, he's going to have Muller and Musiala and Sane, who are all good passers, and they're going to be trying to find Harry Kane. He's a poacher, and I think this mark for him at home, it's time for him to try to at least win a trophy this season and go for the Champions League. So I like Harry Kane hired in 3 shots. My next is his teammate as well. Leroy Sané hired in 0.5 shots on target. A third of his shots in the league and half of his shots in the Champions League, out of all the shots he takes, are on target. Away from home, he shoots 2.5 in the league, 1.6 in the Champions League. But at home, he goes up to 3.1 and 3. And he likes to take long shots. If he finds those pockets, he'll find them. And he plays on the right, so he's going to be defending. Arsenal is going to try to defend him on their left side. And that's where Ben White doesn't play. So the Arsenal's left side is weaker. And that's where Sonny plays. So I think it's a good spot for him to cut inside and just take a long shot and for it to be on target. His line is at 2 on Price Picks, I believe. And if he takes those 2, he would need to get 3 to go over. And even if he does, those first 2, which I think he will, one of them will be on target. So I like him to go higher than 0.5 shots on target. Next player is also a Bayern player. I know they're 4 Bayern players, but I just like these lines. It is Eric Dier, hired in 64.5 passes. He had 61 last game, and he is the center back that they usually look to pass back to because he doesn't go up as often. And last game, Arsenal had 59% of the ball, while Bayern only had 41. But I think this next game for them at home, this would be closer to 50-50. And if that's the case, I guarantee you he goes over this mark. If He was already close with 61 when they only have 41%. And even if they just have 45%, I think he goes over this mark. He averages 76 in general, but that is in the Bundesliga where he plays weaker teams. But 64.5, I just think is a good mark for him at home to go over this mark against Arsenal. And I know Kai Havertz should be playing in the midfield, and I believe they average a little less of the ball when he plays in the midfield comparison to when they have Jorginho, Odegaard, and Rice in the midfield. So like Dier higher than 64.5 passes. Next pick is in the City Madrid game. It is Erling Haaland higher in 3 shots. I know last game he didn't do good and he was getting pocketed by Rudiger. But I think the main reason why I like this line is because De Bruyne is going to be playing in the midfield this time. And whenever he played them last season with De Bruyne in the lineup, he had 3 shots and 4 shots. And the one game where he didn't play with De Bruyne, he only had 1. So I think this time he's going to bounce back. I faded him last time for a reason because I had a feeling De Bruyne wasn't going to play. But now that he is going to play, he's going to have good service from Jack Grealish, De Bruyne, Foden, Bernardo Silva. They're going to be looking for Haaland. And I just think it's a good spot for him at 3. His line is usually like at 4, 4.5. And at home, he averages 4.4. This game is likely to be like a lot of City shooting. And I just need Haaland to at least get 3 for it to push. And he needs 4, and I think he will. I just think it's a safe spot for him to bounce back from last game with De Bruyne. I like Haaland higher than 3 shots. My next pick is Ederson, lower than 2.5 saves. I know this could be a little scary just because it's Madrid and they could shoot. But City have a really good defense, and it's even better at home. Last season, whenever they played each other in the Champions League, Madrid had 13 shots at home, but then dropped all the way to 7 when they played them away. And then this season, when last game when Madrid played at home, they had 14. So I expect the trend to be the same. I feel like this next game is going to be a lot of City ball, as in they'll pass the ball around, and Madrid are going to try to defend as much as they can and tire them out and hit them off the counter. And I don't know if they'll have any opportunities to get 3 shots on target. But another reason why I like this mark is because I feel like Ederson is low-key an overrated goalkeeper. If you look at the games, I watch the games whenever Ederson plays, and a lot of the goals that he concedes are not good in the sense that he should be saving them. It's because City's defense is so good that he doesn't face too many shots on target often, but when he does, he might not be ready for them. So even if Madrid take 3 shots on target, or 4, I expect 1 or 2 of them to go in. So I just don't think he'll get 3 saves. So like Ederson lower than 2.5 saves. My next pick is Kevin De Bruyne, higher than 0.5 goals and assists, playing for City. In my opinion, and if you watch ball, you know what I'm talking about. De Bruyne is a big game player. When he needs to show up, he will show up. He played him last season in both games, and in both games he went over this mark. I believe one of them was a goal, and the other one was an assist. And another reason why I like this is because he's the set piece taker for Man City. So when it comes to free kicks, penalties, I feel like if they get a penalty, he'll probably take it instead of Haaland. But even then, like I said, he's the free kick taker as well as the corner taker. So that's already a spot for him to get an assist there. And I can see him sending a through ball to Haaland, and Haaland's scoring that as well. So he's just a big game player, and I trust De Bruyne. City already scored 3 goals against Madrid last game away from home, and now that he's there, he'll probably be involved if they scored at least 2. I expect him to be involved in one of them. So I like De Bruyne to go higher than 0.5 goals and assists. My last one, I took him last game, and he hit, and now it's the same line again, but for plus money. It's Camavinga higher than 0.5 shots. I believe this is at plus money just because now they're playing away from home, and they'll take less shots. You can fade it if you want to, but I'm taking it just because, one, he had 1 shot last game, and when he played him out of the 2 games last season when they played, he only played in one of them, and he had 1 shot against them. And I just like it at plus money. He takes long shots, and he's full of energy. And in 3 games that he's played away in the Champions League, he's averaged 1.3. So I think whenever it's time for Madrid to counter, or even when they're trying to control the ball in the midfield, if Camavinga gets an open slot, he'll take the shot because Madrid won't find too many shots compared to last game. So I think this is a good spot at plus money to take Camavinga at 0.5 shots. Before I get into Moneyline, I just want to give a quick shout out to my partner, Underdog Fantasy. You can use code Maikito, linked in the description, to get your first deposit matched up to $100. And thank you to anybody who uses that. I also have my Cashapp linked in the description if you want to use that. We've had a pretty good last couple 3 days, so anything that is sent is really appreciated. It is not required, but anything helps. So I'll just quickly get into the next money line. There's only 2 games tomorrow, and they'll be a close games. But I do like the Bayern money line against Arsenal. You can get this at plus money. Honestly, think that history repeats itself. That Bayern is going to be dominant against Arsenal. I know this could be like, you could call it controversial if you want to, because Arsenal's defense is good. But I think Arsenal is going to collapse this game. You can call it my gut call if you want to. I'm 5 for 5 on those, but I'll call this my gut call. I think Arsenal just had a missed opportunity to take the lead against Bayern at home, and now they're playing them away where they don't play as well as they should. And they just choked the league in the sense that now they're behind, and now City's first. And when City takes the lead, they don't look back. They lost against Villa, and now they're playing Bayern away from home. Like I said, they tied against Bayern at home, then lost to Villa, and now they've been in a pretty bad form in just those 2 games compared to their standards. So I think at plus money, I like Bayern money line against Arsenal. Thank you everybody for watching. Like I said earlier in the video, this time I try to give more picks, a little less explanation, and more you guys pick what you like and do your own research and give you guys suggestions and pick and choose what you want. Like I said, let me know in the comments if you prefer this or if you prefer what I do before and give less picks but with more explanation. I know some people don't listen to the explanations, they just go for the picks and then just trust what I say, but I know some people do like to hear what I have to say. So just let me know in the comments what you guys prefer. I appreciate if you watched the video all the way through. Hopefully we can cash out again tomorrow. I hope you all have a good night.